So as promised, here I'm going to show you the execution of my plan on how I got a narc back. Gave him a taste of his own medicine. Again, if you're dealing with a physically abusive narc, get the fuck out. Also, can you please hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell, which will put this video up higher so other women can hear this, and men and dudes, to get some insight. And I also have some plans for some other videos, so please stay tuned. First of all, this was a 4-month relationship, so I don't recommend this for a long-term relationship. It was a 4-month relationship where I was played, which I am still amazed to this day that I got played. But many of us do, and he was very good. Like I said, I knew him 16 years ago. That's how he got in, through my loyalty of history friends. So anyway, after he discarded me abruptly, which hurt like fuck, I took some notes, he planned on shelving me as a friend, you know. By the way, I had already discovered what he was midway through the relationship. I pretty much was noticing the behaviors and started doing some research on it, and I'm like, man, this motherfucker's a narcissist, son of a bitch. But I was in love with him by that point, so it was too late. So I hung around, stonewalled his abuse, which is probably why I got discarded. But anyway, so I already fucking knew. Anyway, so when he discarded me, I acted whatever. I'm like, you know what? I agree with you. Our attachment issues don't complement each other. Attachment issues. You know, this dude's an MFA therapist, by the way. He's out there doing couples communication therapy. So be careful who you pick for a therapist. Anyway, so I didn't respond. What I did was, after the discard, I blocked him. I blocked him because I knew to do that from my education. For the next 2 months, I went through trauma bond pain. Like I said in my prior video, this is worse than heroin. Hurt, hurt, hurt. Bad, bad, bad. These motherfuckers need to be paid back. I wasn't thinking that at the time. I was just educating myself. Reading everything I could get my hands on about narcissism. Watching every YouTube video I could about NPD. I'm not talking about just narcissistic traits. Again, you know, I have narcissistic traits. You know, I'm an empath, which I will prove later in another video. There is scientific evidence for those of you who don't think so. Anyway, so blocked him during those 2 months of trauma bond recovery and education. The closer I got from being recovered from my trauma bond, the more angrier I got at what had been done to me. And so I started loosely devising a plan on, I want to get this motherfucker back. What did he do to me? He lied to me. He betrayed me. I know if he's cheated on me. That's what they do, you know. Lied to me, betrayed me, and played me. I can't stand to be played, like most people can't be. Hello? So I loosely devised a plan. And late one night, I opened up my Facebook Messenger and sent him this message that unmasked him. I unmasked the motherfucker. We'll call him Narc. I unmasked the Narc. And in my empathic way, very diplomatically, not showing a shadow of abuse or you know, just showing acceptance, like things such as, I may not be a goddamn narcissist, but I certainly have a lot of traits, and I just wish you would have told me, because we wouldn't have made such a shit show of the short time we had to spend together. You know, and I went on and on and on and on and on about that. Other stuff, you know, I detailed it out, but it was very nice, but it definitely unmasked him. I got the 3 words in there: narcissistic personality disorder. Not all together, but diplomatic Facebook message. And I'm thinking, well, it'll take him a couple days to notice that I'm like, I didn't even know if he noticed I blocked him. He responded immediately with a heart. I'm like, right on. And then the plan really started to fucking coalesce in my head about how I'm going to get him back. So it went back into my FB Messenger, deleted every fucking message I had ever sent him, including that one, which I had found out before that's fuel. In case you didn't know that, they relive their relationship with you. That's fuel for them. All those texts, all that data. So I eliminated that. So when he opened up his Facebook Messenger again, all he was faced with was himself, his own mirror, his own texts regarding our relationship. which I checked a few days later, and he had gone in there to reread my message or whatever he was doing, and I could almost feel the anger on that. He had, oh, she deleted everything, so he deleted everything also, all his messages, and blocked me within 48 hours. So he was fucking watching. So I'm like, yeah, I'm on the right path here, man. I'm on the right path. So I waited 2 weeks. I waited an appropriate amount of time to just let him have enough involvement with his other fucking supplies and his other chaos he's living in to get distracted and to forget about me and to forget about the note and to forget about his unmasking. You know, one of my supplies ran awry. One of my supplies unmasked me. Ooh, mortification. I waited 2 weeks and I sent him a text with the note attached. Which I had taken a screenshot of, by the way. Forgot to tell you that. Took a screenshot of it, even though he could never read it again after he hearted it. I took it away from him. But I took a screenshot, so I attached it to a text, thinking, you know, his mouth is watering. He wants to fucking read that again. Sent him a text, and what I said in the text, took a couple notes here if you don't mind. Well, I said in the text something like, I'm a very nice, loving, and empathetic person, but if you push me too far, I will address it, and it won't be pretty. You know? Here we go. You know? Also, and I will always be 2 steps ahead of you. And I fish text him. I didn't think I'd hear from him again. I didn't think, fish text him. I thought I may have to do a couple more texts to get him to respond. And he responded immediately. Surprise, surprise. He responded immediately. And said, what is this? I don't understand, question mark, what is this? And I wrote him back and said, oh, that's when I said, I'll always be 2 steps ahead of you. And he said, I'm sorry you're hurting. It looks like the person in this message is hurting. And I wrote back and said, I'm not hurting. And I wasn't. That was the truth. But he said, well, what is this fucking thing? And I said, this was the part I loved. I said, see, it isn't that hard to hurt someone. It isn't that hard to hurt someone. And I said, look closely, narc. You hearted this. And I could, like I said in my other video, I could literally hear him reaching for the phone to block me. I had told him, ghost me earlier on. If you can't deal with this, ghost me. And he would fucking ghost me so fast, which to me signified he was terrified. Once he figured out what the 2 steps ahead, it probably took him 2 days to figure out what happened. I don't know. Narcs are pretty smart, with this manipulation thing. With this supply ran amok. I'm sure he's ran into this before, but never this specific of a supply gone wrong. I'm sure he's had some crazy chicks on his head. No wonder he was so paranoid all the time. He's always thought somebody was following him. Gee, I wonder why. Which is great because I left it as crazy chick. So I left it just so. I unmasked him and I left it crazy chick. And you better be looking over your shoulder because, I might be following you too. Fucked up his head and unmasked him. And I really believe more of this needs to be done. These people are not fucking strong. They're not God. They're not omnipresent. They're not brilliant. They're smart in what they do in a specific category. But also, one last thing, what I had to do this was I had to turn off my empathy, which was very hard to do. I had to become a predator. I had to actually get enjoyment out of when I said, he had responded and said, this is creepy. This is creepy. I got enjoyment when I wrote back and said, good, that's how I felt. In other words, you fucking made me feel creepy too, motherfucker. And these people need to be called out on their shit, because otherwise they just bounce along, go on to the next victim. They have all these videos on don't warn the secondary supply, don't warn the next supply. Yeah, don't warn her. Fucking strike him with lightning. Figure out a way to not fucking care once you're healed from your trauma bond. Once you're healed from this thing, where you can't do it, you don't care. Don't give a shit about what he thinks. Forget politeness. You weren't treated as such. You know, if you're an empath or if you're a normie, whatever, you weren't treated with politeness and care and common compassion, and I understand we're supposed to walk on, and I am walking on. I'm happy he ghosted me. He's re-blocked now, by the way, which I don't think he'll be contacting me again if he's blocked. You know, possibly part of this turned him on. I don't care. I scared the shit out of him, and I unmasked him. You know, he knows what he knows very well what was in that Facebook, and now he has it. He can read it over and over and over again if he wants to, but all it basically is a mere mortification for him. But he doesn't have much to reread from me for fuel. But anyway, I just wanted to clarify and give detail as promised as to how I was able to execute this revenge, taste of his own medicine on this narky that came into my life, broke my heart, caused me a lot of pain. And I think a lot more of us need to do this. I can't find any information out there about how to get them back. I understand no contact. I'm exercising no contact. That usually is the best way. But if you're dealing with one I was dealing with a covert who wasn't violent, who just was addicted to women and, you know, got his supply that way. He was a narcissist. He followed all the fucking, you know, all the sense of entitlement, all the traits, all the 9. He hit on, I think, on 8 of them. And I got him back, and I think more needs to be done about these people. Anyway, be sure and hit that like button and the subscription so you can be notified of my next videos are going to be about empaths and how they can be proven. Because I'm hearing out there all these anecdotal, which means, you know, off the cuff, trench in the trenches, front lines of, it's cutting edge, man, about this empath thing. And there are studies going on clinically, and I plan on addressing that in my next video. Thank you for watching. Go get 'em.